It sounds popular. What God cannot do does not exist. God cannot lie, and lie exists. God cannot steal, and stealing exists. God cannot die, and death exists. Don't copy cliches. Follow doctrine. Don't follow cliches by motivational speakers. Follow sound teaching so you can have a sound life.
So, Dr. Damina has something to say about your favorite man of God, Pastor Jerry Ezze, the 7 a.m. morning fire prayer warrior, who's commanding prayers each and every day at 7 a.m., chanting, "What God cannot do does not exist." Damina believes that's just a useless rant. Before I conclude on it, I want you to listen to what Damina had to say about believers who are after this chant of what God cannot do does not exist. And Damina does not classify Jerry as a sound doctrinal teacher. He classifies him as a motivational preacher. And the Bible condemns anyone who peddles any other doctrine that is not the doctrine of Christ. That is not the true gospel. Listen to what Damina had to say.
To be an insult for you to join those who don't even have a good pastor to be shouting what God does not do does not exist. You follow unschooled people to be quoting their cliche because you yourself, you don't know God. Don't let miracle seeker slogans sweep your rug off your feet of sound Bible study. Those slogans are for miracle seekers. What God cannot do does not exist. What God is for miracle seekers. It's for unbelievers. The popularity of a thing doesn't make it the truth. Selah.
And he goes on to advise you not to be miracle seekers, but to be the lovers of the word. And he classifies everyone who chants what God cannot do does not exist as an unbeliever. He believes that all true believers should never go with the flow of chanting chants, popular chants that have nothing to do with the word of God. Where in the Bible is it written that what God cannot do does not exist, or do this in remembrance of the Son of Man? That's just what he's trying to put in layman's term. And he even went on to classify Jerry Ezze as an unschooled preacher. I believe it's in the context of him not being fully fledged with the word of God. Hence he come up with these rants that are diametrically opposed to the doctrine of Christ. Let's just keep on listening to what Damina has to say about what God cannot do does not exist.
Some of you have it, what God does not. Some of you have it inside your phones. Some of you, that's your screensaver. Something is wrong with your medulla oblongata. You need to be cross-examined. You are behaving like somebody that did not attend a word church. Because when you attend a word church and you have a good pastor, it will be an insult for you to join those who don't even have a good pastor to be shouting what God does not do does not exist.
So, what Dr. Damina is merely saying here is, if you find yourself waking up each and every day at 7 a.m., in the morning, it simply means that you need some mental rehabilitation. You need to have your medulla oblongata re-examined. It's high time that you pay your neurosurgeon a visit so that they can establish if there are no loose screws up there. According to him, what God cannot do does not exist. It's a chant that was crafted for miracle seekers. And I find this to be the common problem in Christianity. We have people that no longer care about being righteous. We have people that no longer care about holiness. We have people that no longer care about the word. The only thing they care for are miracles and prophecies. Hence, they have become victims of the so-called prophets and of the so-called miracle healers. You realize that the reason why people follow Jerry is not because of the word. Jerry has no doctrine. If I can ask you now, what doctrine Jerry peddles, you will not be able to put a finger on it. The only reason why you wake up in the morning at 7 a.m. is so that you receive your healing, so that you receive your miracle. That's what he's always promising. That which you couldn't do for the rest of your life, you're going to do it in the next 7 days, the next 30 days, in the next 40 days. Multiplication in the abundance. That's their doctrine, the prosperity gospel. That's why people wake up every day at 7 a.m. Not because they want to hear the word, but because they want to receive. But we've always said this, my people. God is not a vendor machine. That's not how God operates. God operates on principle. He just does not give out simply because you've woken up at 7 a.m. to shout rat-ta-ta-ta and clapping your hands. That's not how it works. And Jerry is misleading people to believe that if they wake up every day at 7 a.m. and send gifts on his live programs, they are going to be blessed or they are going to receive a miracle. The testimony that I'm receiving from people, these grand old people that have lost their lives simply because they believed in the 7 a.m. fire prayers, they are heartbreaking. And we still have so many other mothers out there, brothers out there, sisters and uncles and aunties and grandmothers who are discontinuing their medication, believing that the prayers that they are receiving at 7 a.m. from Jerry Ezze are going to heal them. They are setting themselves up. If you have a medical condition, seek a medical professional, not Jerry. Whatever that Jerry does at 7 a.m., it only benefits him, not anyone else. There's a reason why he wakes up every day at 7 a.m. Did you see his numbers lately? How much he's wrecking for those 7 a.m. fire by my people. Tell me what you think about what Damina said. Let's not go too deep into Jerry's pocket. That's not the subject of the conversation. Otherwise, we'll be in petty. So tell me what you think about what Damina said about what God cannot do does not exist.